All right, guys, we are live on a Friday evening here. I'd like to welcome everyone who's made their way into the gallery, subscribers to the Independent Investor channel, subscribers to all these other channel creators as well. I see a ton of channel creators in the group making all kinds of different content for your benefit. And I'll take this opportunity as well. If your first time to the Independent Investor channel live stream, stick around. You will not find a more unique live stream than mine. I think I was one of the original live streamers sitting at my dinner table, getting my thoughts off my chest, really identifying a landscape of investing that, it's very, very, very difficult for new investors to make their way into the investing opportunity and try to make sense of it on your own. However, that is the requirement. We set the bar fairly high on the Independent Investor channel. We spend a lot of our time breaking down barriers to entry, which I think, unfortunately, in the investing arena, there's way, way too much confusion. And I think a lot of people are seeking out information and understanding where it is that they can find good, credible information online. I haven't been a self-directed investor my whole life. I've been a self-directed investor for about 8 years now, made every mistake under the book, no doubt about it. Been in a couple class action lawsuits, been in hock with the IRS not once but twice, had my fair share of bad beats, and I've zigged when the market has zagged. I've been in penny stock investing, and I have lost money. There is nobody out there in the investing arena. They may be very, very flashy in telling you that they've got all the answers. I'm here to tell you that they don't. And people wouldn't invest in the stock market if it wasn't a wonderful wealth generating vehicle. Okay. But it's a very powerful wealth generating vehicle. And I think it's very, very easy to get misguided, especially for new investors who are seeking some good answers as to where they can look, get some good information. We try to provide a very clear testimonial on what I do in the market. We are going to cover the portfolios. I was a little bit misguided this week, I guess, paying too much attention to the speculative aspect in the portfolio, and bad on me for doing that. While I was doing that, the value and the passive investing aspect were kicking some ass. They were just doing really, really well. And you guys are going to see that, and I'll earmark that when I roll out the portfolios to you guys. We do that for transparency. This is not a make your way to the Independent Investor channel and deploy what it is that I do. I do what it is that I do because it makes sense for me. And I have a very, very high bar that's set for you guys, in that you guys need to identify whatever purpose it is for you in the stock market. That is the requirement. Okay. There are no shortcuts for you as a new investor. And I will tell you that the bar is high. What I will tell you is that if you get caught up in all the hype that's out there right now, you're just going to confuse yourself. Okay. If you want to know what the stock to buy of the week is, or the month, or the year, at any given time, you can stick your nose right on the Dow 30. Stick it right on the Dow 30. All right. I own 27 of them. I'm right now a void of American Express, Nike, as well as United Health Group, but I own the rest of them. Why do I do that? It's because I think a lot of people make investing out to be a whole hell of a lot more difficult than it needs to be, number one. I think a lot of people feel like they need to spend the majority of their time looking for the needle in a haystack, that rocket ship, that 10x, 15x, 25x stock. I don't even know what that means anymore. I will provide a voice of reason. This is my opinion. You can disagree with my want. I think all that is BS, all of it. And people will come on and they will provide flash in the pants, that of which is aimed at winning you over as a subscriber to the message. Certainly, I'd love to have you make your way to the independent investor community, as well as any of these other really good channel content creators as part of a grander community. And quite frankly, to speak about a grander initiative and a grander mission here on the Independent Investor channel to empower one investor at a time. And that means to take control of your own money. Okay. And a lot of people would say, man, okay, I don't know. Time out, Ryan. I'm throwing in the towel. I've only been on for just over 5 minutes. Okay. Something as important as investing in your life, you cannot expect that in 5 minutes you're going to have all the answers. All right. It has taken me a lifetime to get to where I am now. And I think I probably deploy more of a Socratic method, in that the more I learn, the more I understand that I don't know, if that makes any sense. And I think a lot of young investors, man, especially the young investors, the world is your oyster. You've got that ace up your sleeve with time. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Listen to folks like myself and some of these other really, really good investors here in the group as to their experiences in the market. Like I've earmarked, I don't make stuff up. I don't sugarcoat stuff to make it seem better than what it is. I sometimes feel the temptation for the YouTube opportunity because that's honestly what YouTube wants. YouTube wants me to come on, put on bells and whistles, jump up and down, and tell everybody, profess to the world that I've got the next best stock. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not possible. It's not. You stick your nose on the Dow 30, that's the best place, in my opinion, to start. Then you can roll right off and take a look at the top 10 in the S&P 500. You're going to find some interesting names there, probably Dow components. We throw Berkshire Hathaway into that mix as well, okay? But I think a lot of people are looking in the wrong places for their stock market information. I'm going to tell you within the first 10 minutes so you can get the answer. And if you've got other things to do with your time and you don't have time to spend 60 minutes with me, which is the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube, there's no doubt, because it has the chance of tweaking your perspective about how you look at the investing opportunity, and maybe even how you look at life in general and how the investing opportunity fits into the total overall picture of your life. Okay. Why do you invest? Why do you invest the way that you do? What strategy do you deploy? What makes sense for you? What makes sense for me may not make sense for you. That's why we come together. And that's why I'm so adamant and so aggressive on coming together every Friday and offering this message. Yeah, at about 64% right now. I'm starting to get the fever coming on. But this is more, I got my second vaccine today, for anybody who's wondering what's wrong with me. I do recommend that to anybody. I've heard the second go around is a little bit tougher. That's fine. I'm a pirate, and I'm one tough bad dude. So I'll be fine. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I never know who's going to make their way in and sit in a corner of the world and catch an independent investor live stream, that of which I kick the door open to perspective and allow anybody to come in and hear what I have to say about investing in the market now, investing in the stock market when I first started. I can reach back into the tool bag and tell you it's not all roses. You're not going to get investing in the stock market and not step on a few landmines every now and then. It does happen. The idea is that you're putting some freaking risk on the table, right? You're living life, and you're living life hard. That's the key, okay? Because I can tell you one thing, you are never going to find success in this life if you just live your entire life careful, all right? So with that, guys, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Independent Investor Channel live stream. It's going to be me running the show tonight. I opted for that, and just want to make sure that everybody settles in, grab a drink, have a good time, sit back, leave your comments in the gallery here as I'm looking to engage in a Q&A this evening with you guys. It's never really a better time to start defining what it is that you want out of this gig. And I think a lot of people come to the investor opportunity for some tough reasons. I think anybody that's being turned on to the investing opportunity with what's went down over the last couple weeks. I've been a non-participant, of course. There's no surprise to the gallery or anybody who knows my perspective on the market, etc. Where I stand on the Gamestop short squeeze. If you're interested in a 30-minute, that was really the only social media content that I put to YouTube this week. Speaks to a little bit more of a grander type of evaluation of the independent investor channel opportunity. And I'm going to continue on with that evaluation of the program, the projects that I roll out, where I see value for you guys and adjust accordingly. Okay. I think you'll find that some of the daily upload information that comes through on the 10-minute stuff may take a little bit of a backseat here as I focus on my Viper group. I'd like to welcome all the Vipers to the group. That is my private WhatsApp group, along with the M1 Finance Experience. I'm doing multiple Zoom meetings with my members. Why? Because I want to. And I think it's necessary to get them where they need to be. And this is some of the behind the scenes stuff, some of the life coaching stuff that I'm not going to get on here and say that I'm making a difference. I'll leave that up to the people that are being affected by those opportunities. And just want to thank each and every one of those members of that group. It's absolutely one of my favorite things to do. Next best thing to actually being physically with other people is the Zoom opportunity. So I'd like to give a special shout out to Courtney and Corey. Very enjoyable sitting with you guys, man. I would never have the opportunity to meet kind folks like you guys if it weren't for the social media opportunity. And really, that's where I foot stomp the value on the independent investor channel anyway. It certainly isn't me coming on and in a 10-minute offering proclaiming that I have all the answers to life and the stock market and everything exists therein. I don't spend my time with that. But the second shout out goes out to Ruth. And this lady, I'm a better person for speaking with this lady. I don't think I could provide a better compliment to how incredible this person is. She's fabulous. And again, the opportunity and the trust that is bestowed upon me to really dig deep and really try to find that granular alignment to what people are looking for. Sometimes it's just a tutorial where we walk through and we do a screen shot of M1 Finance, and we kind of walk through, how do we add a position? How do we take out a position? Why did you do this in this particular sector of the S&P? Why did you assign this level of allocation in technology? And why did you assign this level of allocation in materials? It gives me the opportunity to vet those questions one-on-one, or in a lot of cases, one-on-two. It's super enjoyable for me. But I got to be honest with you, some of the stuff that I've rolled out through the project to the channel, you do because you do because you do. And I'm a man on a mission. This is more of a mission to me, and it is an ethical mission in that I'm always evaluating how it is my message is perceived by the community and making sure that we're making a positive impact. So it's always that push-pull of what YouTube expects me to put out through content and what I know most people are not looking for, but they need. They really do. So that's really why I provide those opportunities in the manner that I do. Because, for a very small amount, a nice $9,000 entry fee per year to my private group, which you might think is a lot on the onset. But $9,000, I can probably make that up for you over a lifetime if you just pay me the money, and I'll gladly take it for you. No, I'm just kidding. The annual fee is being evaluated, whether or not I want to maintain the sales status, holiday, winter, and summer. or whether or not I digress to an all the time $60 per year, that's a steal. It's a giveaway. You cannot expect to sit with somebody as good as me and as caring as me in an opportunity where we have the opportunity to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Life coaching. I've had some people take me up on the budget side of the house, credit discipline, etc. Guys, there's a reason why I have an 835 credit score. Okay, I can help you with that. And again, I don't blah blah blah. Look at me, I'm so good, and this and that. Nah, I'm here to tell you, man, that me nor the other 1,000 YouTube channel creators out there have any of the answers. There's nothing special about any of us. Okay, there's not that big a separator between some of the smaller channels with a few hundred subscribers or a few thousand subscribers and the Graham Steffens of the world and the Nates O'Briens of the world and the Ryan Scribners. These are all human beings as well. Okay, and I'm kind of here to tell you that I don't think the disparity between those channels really lends itself to reputable information or not. In other words, the size of your YouTube channel means really little to me, and it shouldn't mean a whole lot to you with regard to the opportunity that you can seek through the social media opportunity. However, I'm going to give you the answer within the first 20 minutes, okay? The secret to my success in life or anything, and especially investing, the person that you need to follow is yourself, okay? And as cliche as you might want to think that is, I want you to stop and think about it for just a second. And I want you to understand and ask yourself, in reflection of your life, successes, right? Hardships that you've gone through. Doesn't it seem like the most meaningful things are initiated by you, right? In other words, if you just tripped and fell into the independent investor opportunity and you looked at my portfolio and said, well, obviously he's killing it, he's doing well, I can do that too. I can just trip and fall into Ryan's portfolio and render the same amount of success. You might have a shallow level of return success, okay? In other words, you may make some money, but is it going to be meaningful success? The word meaningful goes a long way with me in understanding why it is you're doing what you're doing, why you're making the decisions that you're doing. And for you new investors out there, you don't have to be an analyst. You don't. I just gave you the answer, where to look. The gems of the stock market, the diamonds. Look at the Dow 30. Very simple. Google it, for crying out loud. I'm not going to tell you what they are. Hell, I could probably name them off the cuff out of memory. How many of you guys can do that? How many of you guys put value in other places and you're wondering what that next rocket ship to the moon is going to be, what that next 50x stock is going to be? Forget all that garbage. Forget it. Look at the Visas and the United Healths of the world. Look at the Apple and the Microsoft. All right. Look at the Home Depots of the world, maybe even a Walmart. All right. Just take a look. It doesn't mean that you have to go buy the Dow 30. It doesn't mean that. But start to get familiar with some of these companies that you're like, man, alive, I recognize Verizon, I recognize AT&T, I recognize Disney. Okay, now I kind of see what Ryan's talking about. Man, is it really that simple? Jesus, Ryan, you're giving away the most obvious thing in stock market investing. It seems to be something that escapes most people. Yep, therein lies the reason why I do this channel. It's the very nature of how in the hell this can escape most people. It just boggles my mind. There is a place for speculation. Hell, there's a place for ultra aggressive speculation. I get it. And the younger that you are, I can absolutely concede if you came to me and said, you know what? I've read a few books. I'm with the game, Ryan. I understand it. I can take on a little bit more risk at my age. But my question back to you is, you say, you have 100% of pie to work with. What are you suggesting to me that makes sense to you as a beginning investor? Are you looking to take 100% of your portfolio and build out a SPAC portfolio? Okay. Better know what you're doing. Better be ready for rolls, right? But if you came back to me and said, you know what, I want to introduce 10%. I want to get used to this investing gig. I want to put some good quality growth companies in there. And I want to start a passive base in the S&P 500. Now we're getting to a better place in this evolution of an investor and improving people's real stewardship to investing. And I feel like where the landscape takes 10 steps back on this front, I- I'll still continue to yell from my small corner, my small boxing ring here on the Independent Investor channel. There's no doubt about it. Just a bunch of good quality content creators out there. I do want to highlight Kyle's in the house. I'm very cool to see you, my friend. And I really appreciated the shout out in the finance YouTuber Facebook group. That's a lot of fun in there. There's a lot of up and coming folks that want to share their story on YouTube. And I think that is great. I really do. I think it's fabulous. But these guys took and they featured me and did a nice write up for me. Really appreciate that. There's a few things that I really enjoy in social media, and that positive feedback is huge for me. Again, the rest of it I'll leave to the people that end up sitting with me on a Zoom meeting for 90 minutes and come out of it with their head like jello, but they're empowered and they've changed their lives. So it's great to see you, man. Anytime I highlight these folks, you want to make sure and kick over and just hit the subscribe button for them. It takes a couple seconds. These guys are working really hard to share their testimonials with you guys, and this is just the beginning, okay? The landscape is changing on sharing information. Perhaps I say something that motivates you and brings you onto the investing opportunity. Again, not to just jump on with or jump off the cliff with both feet, but motivates you to take a look-see. Motivates you to maybe start a strategy for yourself, maybe start asking some of those questions that you didn't know how to ask before. Very important, man. I got Matt in the house here. I'm about to do the portfolio rollouts for you guys. I'll highlight some of the areas of the portfolio that I noticed. I thought it was kind of a Debbie Downer week until I did the review just before the live stream, like I always do. Oh, gosh, guys, I tell you what, I'm not going to digress on how I preach passive investing. My passive investing is kicking ass. And if you're a new investor out there and you're just like, what is this? What is an ETF? What is an index fund? Do yourself a little, I'm not going to teach you or give you your homework. If you're serious about investing, you'll learn a little bit about what an ETF is or what an index fund is, what an ARK ETF is, because that kind of covers the younger crowd. My ARK ETFs are up $1,000, $1,100 this week. Week, right? And I've got a $14,000 allocation to the ARK portfolio. And for a lot of you guys, maybe starting investors, couple grand, 5 grand, 10, 15 grand, that's right in that sweet spot of where I try to identify a lot of people fail to get to. So for you guys that are new to the channel and you're like, okay, that's a real result. Again, I don't come on and put on a freaking dance for you guys and put on a dress and yay, look at me, I'm the baddest ass investor ever, because I don't agree. I don't think that exists. I don't. I sought opportunity and it worked out. Could it go down within the next 6 months? Yeah. We need more people speaking about investing as a two-prong game, okay? There are two sides to the coin. And I know that there's a lot of people in the YouTube community that want to tune in and they just want to focus on, again, boom, I want to retire tomorrow and that's it. Give me that YouTube channel that's going to give me those answers. I'm here to give you an answer. I'm here to give you a truth. That does not exist. So stop looking for it. All right? Stop. Okay? Look in the freaking mirror. That'll help you get to where you need to go so much better than trying to kick over stones or look for that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. All right? I don't need to tell you that leprechauns don't exist, but they freaking don't. All right? So let's do the portfolio review. And I do want to kind of highlight a few just aspects of the portfolio. We rolled it out last week. This is the brokerage. I will tell you the theme this week, again, because I can't stop talking because 60 minutes is not that much time for me to blah, 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 get out what I need to get out. But we did liquidate some stock just today. I put some cash to the side. I did that as a strategic initiative in my portfolio to take some risk off the table, take some profit. I always liquidate stock for profit, always. Never, ever sell stock for a loss. This is how the brokerage account shook out. This dipped below 100 for the last live stream. We were back up above that mark. Nothing really crazy to to earmark here. IPOE and Hyliion have just been the real anchors in this. And it's really been my assessment over the portfolio this week that these have really held me back from participating in what has been a fairly good market this week. So pretty disappointed in the performance, really kind of holding the bag on Hyliion here. Still believing, didn't help with the Goldman Sachs downgrade to a sell. I find that interestingly ironic in that the exact same analyst just wrote the same downgrade 28 days ago, as if the company has changed so much over the last 28 days to write a new downgrade. Stock manipulation. But anyway, that's what is happening, and I guess the SEC turns their nose to that type of free speech. But that's what's going on. Hopefully, it does not see the price target of $12. That'll allow them the optimal entry. You notice that it drives down during the day, and then right when the market closes, it buys after market. There's aftermarket action on Hyliion. That's really, it makes you raise an eyebrow as to what's going on behind the scenes with this company. But we're going to continue to hold long. I have IPOA, which is SoFi, and we'll be fine. That's our speculative aspect, whereas the rest of the portfolio has come back quite nicely. But these are a little skewed here. I give these numbers for you guys that are new to the live stream. The 91.24 is actually a lot less than that. I'm probably a lot more cash rich, which would put this more at about an 80% stock to cash ratio here. And that's just what I wanted to do today. So this is the taxable brokerage. We'll move on to the Roth IRA number one. Again, these are a little bit less as there was some liquidations. These are the portfolio holdings as they shook out today, but value is on fire. Philip Morris, Altria Group, 3M has just been sneaking up on us. Lockheed Martin found a base. Of course, I thought it would. For you guys that tripped and fell on my, hey, Cisco exists out there, we're better for it. Absolutely. But yeah, value killed it this week. What can I say? Value killed it. Yeah. Everything value oriented, dividend, passive investments really were my best performers. I'm up in every ETF I own. I did take profits in VTI and VOO. I just don't want to initiate positions here with the market the way that it is. So I'll continue to be patient on those, but I'm stacking pay dirt and really earmarking some new funds to initiate some really good positions in VTI and VOO when the market is a little bit more conducive to doing so. All right. So I'm looking to take those positions a little more strategically in these accounts. Right. But keep in mind, those decisions aren't made with an attempt to time the market. Okay. Because I already have my thrift savings plan that is working for me passively all the time. I do not tinker with that. I do not I don't change the allocation. I don't change anything with that. It's 100% passive, and it's killing it. It went up $1,200 just this week. Passive. I did nothing. I did not stress about it. I did not put a short on it. I did not fall over myself trying to freaking put in a limit buy order to sell and take profit. And oh my God, stress about this and that. Zero effort. Zero. And I'm winning. Okay. So for you guys that are new investors, man, heed my call. Sometimes the most successful way of entering into the stock market can sometimes be the easiest. Yeah. And the most lucrative. All right. So the stock to cash allocation there is a little bit skewed. I do apologize. I couldn't do the math on it because it did not update in the brokerage yet. That'll be updated for Monday for next week's stream. And here it is for Roth IRA 2. Both of these accounts at about 120,000. And not a whole lot of big changes in here. God, McDonald's has been Raytheon has been on fire. Oil has just been absolutely fabulous this week. Look at these sectors of the market nobody's freaking talk about because they're all busy talking about freaking GameStop. Let it go, please. I'm sick of it. Just stupid to put this much attention on something so idiotic. It's dumb. Focus on the good stuff. This is where the goods are. Coca-Cola. That's where the goods are. Johnson & Johnson. I'm up 27% in J&J. That's what we should be discussing. Apple computers, Microsoft blew out the numbers. Fantastic. Google. I took profits in Google. I know you guys are going to kill me. It could have been a buy and a hold forever. I get it. It was fine. It took a nice run up for me. 10% in a week. I'm a winner. I'm fine. I'm out. I'm good. I render the profits, tax protected within the Roth IRA. I'm good to fight another day. I put that pay dirt to the side and I'll monitor like a coiled up viper in the shade, ready to rock. All right. Yeah, McDonald, everything really did really quite well. VYMI back in the positive. VYM is killing it. Very, very nice. And a 3% yield to boot. VYMI is a 4% yielder. VNQ is fighting back. What can I say? Walgreens Boots Alliance took that into some really deep water, and that's almost back to even. Nice to see there because I was down a good $1,500 bill in that position. All right. And this is everybody's favorite. I do nothing with this portfolio. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Zero. Zero. No effort. No Wall Street bets for me. I don't need it. These are the 11 sectors in the S&P 500. If you're a new investor to the stock market and you're seeing this for the first time, pay attention. I'll give you a second. I won't interrupt you. Take a moment. This account is increased in value about $1,000 from last live stream. This is just the sector specialty ETFs. This has a custom allocation or weighting. Okay. In other words, I've got 14% to the top end holding, which is technology. And the lowest holding right now is telecommunications with materials right behind it. But I strategically allocate to those specific sectors at a lower amount, 3 and 4% respectively for each of those on the bottom end. 13.5. Nothing to shake a stick at, okay? It's not the entire portfolio, but for a lot of you guys, it could be. Hell, I would have killed for this portfolio starting out in the stock market. I would have absolutely fell over myself. Knowing what I know now with the low expense here and to jam these into a Roth IRA, this is a great passive base, in my opinion. M1 Finance makes it possible for this right here. I share these portfolios on every one of my videos, so you guys are welcome to kick over. If you don't memorize these, they're in all of the descriptions in all of my videos that nobody reads. This is everybody's favorite. This is kicking ass. What can I say? Passive investing. Yep. Man, you're amazing, Ryan. You're so special. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Nope, I do everything that you guys do. I walk, talk, and chew and eat food and drink water. And, you know, I am affected by this COVID shot, so I'm not a machine. Okay, there's nothing special about what's going on here. I'll say it again. There's nothing special about what's going on here. Anybody can do it. Anybody. Okay. Now, this can be a layer. Okay. Passive investing doesn't have to be your whole kit and caboodle. It doesn't have to be your entire portfolio, right? I'm just providing strategic access to a testimonial. This is real money. It's not monopoly. 14,043. We just kicked over 14. This account is up $6,000. We've got about 7,800, of invested capital to this. And I fund this with about $25 a month. Excuse me. I upped this to $50 every 2 weeks. I'm sorry. That's what I do. So I do dollar cost average this on a schedule and I don't miss the money. There it is. ARC ETFs. Fantastic. And the TSP approaching that $50,000 milestone. That's going to be a really nice one for me. I established this thrift savings plan with the intent, and I think it speaks to the masses out there who can relate with the idea of having a 401k, 403b, 457 type of program. I just so happen to have the thrift savings plan. They do not match mine. I'm on the legacy plan. For you guys that are familiar with the thrift savings plan, nonetheless, I do contribute 10% to this. Okay. And this is also, I share my allocation because I think there's a lot of people out there that can appreciate how and why I do this. This PIP is right on the money. I can deal with 17.88. That stands for personal investment performance over the last year is the way they figure that. Not too shabby. I'm winning. Man, Ryan, you're amazing, man. You are the best investor ever. You are freaking awesome. You should have 1 million subscribers on your channel. Wrong. It's nothing special about what's going on here. It's wealth building 10 freaking 1. If you're finding your way to this message and I'm failing to entertain you, I do apologize, but this is life changing. This will help sharpen your perspective on investing. What is possible? I share my testimonial openly so you can see what real results in. Again, I foot stomp the fact that this is not monopoly. I do some covered calls as well. There's some of the stuff I've looked at and wrote some contracts on, just for your awareness. All right. And then finally, I always declare where we're at here. I'm just staring down that, just a little over 30 grand away from my $500,000 mark. I might cry. You guys have no idea where I come from, man. I work really, really hard for my money, as a lot of you guys do. And I hope if there's people who make their way into their channel, that's the part of it that they can relate with. They can. I work. I go to work every day. I do YouTube on a side hustle. I do it to share a mission. If people didn't appreciate my mission, I would shut it the hell off. And honestly, through this evaluation and critical assessment of this investment opportunity, the independent investor channel opportunity, I will declare to you guys that everything as of now is on the chopping block. I will say this, though. There was a hell of a comment that snuck its way into the top of the comments. And for you guys that don't make social media, it already actually disappeared. But I will tell you that it was a pretty darn positive comment. I got to go back in here and grab this. I apologize, but I'm getting the comments right now. It said, "Hey man, Ryan, I really appreciate the information you put through. It helps people." And I think for all the people that maybe make their way, at least I presume, because look, I wouldn't do this if I didn't think I have somewhat of a very, very strategic mission, right? And that I'm always trying to, during the 2 sessions that I had this week, I explained this. I'm looking to hear what it is that you have to say, not so I can respond in a manner that makes sense for me. I'm responding in a way based on what you tell me works for you. That's the whole idea, is if we can streamline you to get to that strategy and the deployment of that strategy that makes sense for you, that's the goods right there. And I freaking get it, guys. God dang, man. I struggled with M1 Finance specifically, just to show you an example. And to have that ability to stick out your hand and say, hey, man, can you help me? That's pretty freaking powerful. And it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the YouTube opportunity. And so I do want to just foot stomp again, man, the opportunity that we roll out through the channel and the opportunity that's been provided to me to sit across from people, listen, and then provide my constructive feedback or constructive, like, encouragement. I think a lot of people, man, they really, really like that. Like, hey, what am I doing right, Ryan? What am I doing that you would, well, okay, yeah, no, I see this over here. I kind of see what you're doing here, but how about this, this, and this? And I'm pretty good at just providing options instead of just being like, hey, you need to do it this way. That's just stupid, because I don't think in investing, it's an arena that's conducive to that whole type of like, you need to do it my way or the highway. No way. That's why I'm really not that big of a fan on private groups, especially for thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, for the M1 Finance experience that I roll out, that is insurmountable value. That can change your life. Okay, I've got to put a little bit of a price tag on it just to protect my time. And if you guys want to know more about that, I have all kinds of stories about how I've put myself out there and I've been burned by doing that. Okay. Now the people who have a little bit of stock or ownership in that opportunity really, really want to get down to the nitty gritty, and they want to freaking learn. They're not doing it for entertainment. All right. They're not doing it to be part of a group. They're not doing it to feel accepted into a group. I really don't think that those groups are very conducive to learning anyway. It becomes very, very difficult. But right now, our group is about 42 people strong. And I'm spending the extra time now while the sale is off, really focusing on that core group. So if you have not got with me up till now, hit me up, because if the group does expand, obviously my time is going to have to be budgeted out. Okay. Very cool. All right. I'm going to get to some of the some of the deals. Obviously, Hyliion, come on. Yeah, pretty frustrating position there, honestly. I don't know what to say about it other than I get it. I understand. Okay. I just, it's a tough one. It's a real tough one. It's my most aggressive position in the portfolio. But with the numbers that I just declared to you, is it really that risky? In other words, is Hyliion going out of business? I don't think that it is. Um, if it does, that would be a pretty big dent to the portfolio. That would suck. I just think that there's players involved with this opportunity that cannot be understated. So it needs more time. That's it. It just needs more time. They're putting the strategic places in place with the senior management. That has been done over the last just week and a half, 2 weeks, with Sherry Baker, as well as the senior vice president of marketing, etc. He's from Dana, 30 years in the industry. He's a monster. He's going to be great for the company. And they need to have those pieces in alignment to take advantage of what I feel is going to be some lucrative opportunity, not only for the company, but for shareholders alike. Okay. That's just my opinion on that, guys. All right. I have all the answers. Could be smoke. And Dave, always making light of everything. You understand my point, you know. I'm a lot more guarded, I guess, than a lot of people. I guess what's really gets me disappointed is the amount of followership on social media, and people start to get complacent. And man, if you don't like something I say, scrutinize it. Okay. I put myself out there in a vulnerable way to be scrutinized. Scrutinize away. If you don't like what you see in the portfolio, if you think I suck, if you think I need to just be going completely SPAC investing and telling everybody on YouTube, social media that I'm a 10x investor, let me know. Let me know. I may respectfully disagree with you. Okay. But it's your prerogative to offer your opinion for sure. I would always come back to, look, I can do the flash in the pants type of thing, but I always have to be careful how it's received by the masses. And I do a pretty good job of having at least somewhat of an ethical backbone before manure comes out my mouth, and I let it go out of my mouth, especially over a YouTube social media stream. Let that sink in for a second. All right. So I was thinking about AT&T. I own 312 shares AT&T. Happy to do so. Great company. I think right here at $29, I think it's good. It is undervalued, 32 at fair market value. AT&T, fantastic. You bet. One of those telecoms, right? If you're going to get some space, right? You see how I seek out my space exposure to telecom. I got a little dab of exposure in the sector portfolio. Yes. I also own AT&T and multiple other avenues and own the stock outright, as well as owning some covered calls on the position, right? So once you get up to the more strategic type of initiative, and you'll get there, okay? I don't talk down to people. I'm just speaking with people. You guys being that people, that's something that you want to kind of aim toward, is the ability to write those covered calls, man. It's just a nice way of extrapolating a little bit of premium off of the portfolio. It's a fantastic way of doing it, and especially for a little fella like me. Little retail investor, man. If you don't think that there's somewhat of a sense of urgency for me, for people to try to make sure that you're on the right side of the income gap when the income gap starts to separate, I want everybody in this community to be on the right side of history. I really, really do. And take that to heart. All right. Got the ambassador of the channel in the house, man. All goods in the house. Hope you're enjoying your coffee. I got green tea tonight. And again, I'm pretty proud of myself for making it through this live stream. I am about 64%. So if anything else, you guys can appreciate my devotion to maybe that new investor. Holy moly, that is crazy. That is the coolest thumbnail I've ever seen. Nice job. It's kind of how I feel right now, actually. Understand reality, think critically. I think if that were the requirement, I think a lot of people might be turned off of investing. I want to try to water it down as much as we can, because if you came to me and you said, Ryan, investing is so difficult, I don't know where to start. You need to get to that basic, like, how can I start an account and how can I enter into my first S&P 500 index ETF, maybe my first basket of whatever it is you choose. Okay. I'm not here to tell you what to invest in. Okay, I can tell you that your investing thesis, your time horizon, where you are in your life, where you are in college, pursuit of career, what your income is. Maybe you've got that career started. All those factors play into it. Okay, so I can't tell you, hey, here's the cookie cutter approach for all investors. What I try to do is provide you a tool chest on the Independent Investor channel, that of which you can open up and say, I don't need a screwdriver right now. I need a big freaking hammer. And you grab that hammer or that wrench and you start going to work on yourself. That just came off the cuff. That was pretty cool. Watch that on the replay. I just had 10 people leave the live stream like, okay, this guy's too much, man. Just think about it. Okay. The wrench in the group here signifies just that. It's your empowered pledge to start working on yourself. It is, man. And if you can come to the channel and say, hey, thanks, Ryan, I really appreciate that. I'm pretty humble about that type of stuff. Here's why. You don't owe me squat. Okay. I do this willingly. All right. And payment to me enough is for you to have found some success in wealth building that you wouldn't have found had it not been for the motivation I provide. Okay. Yeah. Thank yourself. Look in the mirror and say, you know what? God dang it, you did it. Ryan motivated me a little bit. All right, man, I'll take partial credit. That's fine if that's what you want to do. I know there's a lot of very, very gracious people in the community here, man. There's a lot of people who are willing to help, and I'm willing to acknowledge that. But I always want to keep the attention and focus on where the strength of this channel is, and that is on the empowered investors. I'm very, very hungry on those investors that get back to me and they're like, Ryan, I freaking did it. I'm up to that first 10 grand. Freak, man. You set that milestone. I didn't think it was possible. I proved myself wrong. Good God dang on me for doing it, man. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. All right. I want to keep the focus on the individuals here that are taking the message and really putting it to practical use in the trenches. All right. If it's just, hey, you come in and sit down with your legs crossed and you're very, very attentive with your back straight and you just listen or you just take a few notes and you don't understand the first thing about what I'm talking about, you're kind of missing the point. The whole thing in this is that you start to engage whenever you possibly can. I think you added an extra 0, Courtney. I'm going to owe you guys dinner. Crazy. She probably wants her wrench. So for that, I'm going to kick over. I got to kick over to check this real quick. And I can only do it through YouTube. So give me just a second. See if I can identify this. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I very much appreciate that, man. I really do. That is so, so helpful and so appreciated. I'm looking through just a massive thread of comments here. I may have to go back through it after if I don't see you here on the fly because I don't want to take too much of my minutes. Fantastic. There's Mr. Knights, another Viper in the group. There you are. And there you are, my dear. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you guys. And that's what I'm talking about with the degree of separation of, you know, I think a lot of people are brought to stock market investing for a lot of genuine reasons. I really do. But it really does help to take somebody like myself to help align some parameters or some swim lanes or some avenues of discipline for you to really take into consideration, because there are two sides to the stock market. All right. I fear that there's a lot of new investors that are looking at this thing and they're assessing the stock market as an arena or a place that only provides wealthy people. That is not true. Okay. Most people fail at investing. All right. Because most people are their own worst enemy. Right. So that's why if you're looking here and you're looking there and you're looking everywhere else in this world, you got to look in the mirror. You got to get yourself right and ask yourself what you want out of this opportunity. It's super, super important. Courtney, thank you. That's not necessary. I'm not sure if you need $45 back, I'll gladly Venmo it to you. I don't know if you hit an extra 0. You're like, dang, I just tipped Ryan $50. Very much appreciated. I'm humbled. Thank you. Very cool. Microsoft, absolutely. Killer quarter, blew it out. I mean, good grief. What can you say, man? The opportunity to become a participant in financial markets is something that hopefully resonates with people. In other words, if you're a new investor making your way to the channel and you just heard what I said, wow, Ryan just kind of put it in a different way. You know, I don't have to buy stock in Microsoft. I can actually become a participant in what was a phenomenal quarter. Google, same thing, blowout quarter, blew out the numbers, blew them out. Technology, they're blowing it out right now. They're just absolutely killing it. Yep. It's a great time to be an investor. Just keep it within scale. Okay. Microsoft is not going to allow you to float into retirement with hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not why we invest. We invest in some form or fashion to become participants in these good companies, whether it be through a diversified product or the equity outright. Okay. All right. Fantastic. I don't know if I can highlight this comment. I hope I can. It doesn't look like I can. It's very cool, man. And Jerry's in the house, man. Very cool to see you, my friend. Bond money could be moved to the utility. Yeah, so I did offer a video on this, just an idea, a strategic idea, right? Get a little capital appreciation with a little bit of an opportunity for some nice, higher than average yield, maybe that you can get on owned bonds specifically. So I'm going to kick over and check that out. Got less than 10 minutes left. I'm going to try to get in here, and I'm just going to highlight a heck of a lot of comments here, guys. Arcade Wealth, man, nice to see you guys. It's very cool. If you guys would do me a softie, I'm in here devoted like I am every single Friday early. If you guys have a little time, I don't deviate from the time. It's always at 9 o'clock, man, but don't hesitate to come in and leave your comment or say hi and then kick away as I kick off for the 9 o'clock. Pay attention or pay the premium. Fantastic. He says sell the premium. Yeah, that's a term I've come to love. It's a pretty amazing opportunity. I'm trying not to lose my shorts with this opportunity, but it's pretty impressive, pretty awesome. It's a place that we're all striving to get to. We really are, to understand how important that is, to act as the banker and sell that premium on the open marketplace. You as the stock owner can do just that. Matt, my good friend, sums it up beautifully. How premium, you betcha. Yep, it's every dollar that makes their way into y'all's portfolio is a win for the little guy, man. In specific terms, the retail investor, and that's what it's about. It's not as complicated as people make it out to be. This is true. I just think something that really softens the blow, because I have a hard time disconnecting from when I started investing. I was confused too, just like everybody. They're confused, but if you search out the information in the correct way and really sit back and be diplomatic about just jumping and deploying a specific strategy, I think you can be powerful. I mean, I've rolled out, 50, 60 products to you guys just tonight, just by nature of sharing my program, right? You know, if you don't like Vanguard, great. No big deal. It doesn't mean I'm a bad investor. It doesn't mean that you're being overcritical. It doesn't mean that. It just means that for an awareness piece, I'm trying to provide and jam as much value as I can in 60 minutes as I possibly can. The inevitable end. Tom, I'll need a ride home. Fantastic. Fantastic. Uber, man. Uber's in the house. I get my Ubers for free. It's another story that I'll tell offline. Very cool. Cruising down. Mr. Knights, great to see you, Warren. Fantastic. All the best to you, my friend. Another one of my Empowered Viper group. It's going to be great to grow wealth with you and yours. It's fantastic. I love it, and I'm humbled at the opportunity. Viral to me is like 1 million people, not 2,000. I don't know anymore. I don't put YouTube videos online to go. I don't even know what that means. I don't really care. I haven't cared since the beginning. I'm not going to start caring now. I'm not. And I will not be owned by YouTube. I upload when I want, how I want, and I retain creative control over the independent investor channel at all times. If they want to pay me what they pay me, they certainly can. If not, they don't need to. I'm fine financially. I'm independent. All right. And I live it, love it, and learn it. And teach it. Being independent, guys. Do away with the freaking 2020 was the time that I unplugged from the television. Now I find myself picking up the guitar more. I find myself searching out music. I find myself doing the things that I'm like, man, how did I ever have time to even watch television? What a waste. What a complete waste of time. Get rid of it. It's garbage. It's all aimed to inundate you on what they want you to hear. Get rid of it. Become empowered. All right. Tune into 60 Minutes on every Friday, and I'll take care of fine tuning that perspective for you as long as it takes. Yep, I'm pretty aggressive with that. All right. Varsity up. Stock market is going to crash. Correction, bear market, crash. Crash is a pretty strong, catastrophic total loss as an asteroid hits the Earth and we're all gone anyway. Certainly, there's been some sizable drawdowns in the market. I am working on a premonition, and I don't come on YouTube and profess that I'm a stock god either. I have a premonition that makes sense for me in my portfolio. I had an opportunity to roll a little profit off the table. I won on every one of the rollouts, and that's it. It's okay. It's water under the freaking bridge. All right. I go on about my day. All right. I'm looking forward to this cannoli that I have in the refrigerator after I'm done with this live stream in less than 5 minutes. Remember, real. Just like you guys. All right. Everybody's looking to deploy this as best they can. But I think it's super, super important for you guys to really, really up your game. If a 401k right now is your game, look at those strategic other areas to add layers into your program, man, because we want to stay hungry on this. All right. We really, really do. Super important. Now I'm cruising through. Larry says he's up pretty big. I am too. I don't know if it's, luck, whatever. It sure as hell ain't skill. It was more of a portfolio positioning move for me to enter into the ARC portfolio the way that I did. And again, if you guys want to see those portfolios in more depth, you can use the link and kick over. They are affiliate links, man. So I get some compensation back on the channel. Don't lose sleep over it. I'm not getting rich. Okay. And I was just joshing about the $9,000 of entry for my private group. Nobody in their right mind would charge $9,000 to go into a private group, nor would there be people out there that would actually pay that to enter into. I'll just let that one go. All right. Fantastic. Rebecca's in the house. Yeah, this is great, man. I will be there one of these days. We've got some plans, partial retirement in Europe. We've got Croatia earmarked, for that initiative. But this is a long-standing project for me, and you guys are all part of that movement and mission. And what little bit or a lot of the involvement that you've had through deploying wealth-building strategies, you're always welcome on the Independent Investor channel, man. If you don't want to catch every live stream or every upload, no problem. If you're a self-directed investor, man, you are part of the gig. But I really appreciate you tuning in from England, man. That's great. My international community is very, very strong. I think it's interesting to them how the U.S. perspective on spending and investing kind of flows through, and what a great way of connecting the world. I'm just glad to have you. Thank you for making your way on. Shout out to you. Got less than a couple minutes here, guys. I wish I had all these comments at the beginning because it usually gets a little overwhelming. Get it, guys. Go with your gut. That's a pretty good comment. I like it. Ryan Ark is up 11 this week. I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm going to see any of that. Haha. Nice. Yeah. I don't count my chickens. Again, I gave the whole like, hey, I'm not anything special. Okay. I'm just a regular fella. Trust me, guys. There's nothing that's done here on YouTube. And I'm sure there's a lot of YouTube channels that would be like, no, I'm awesome. I rock. I'm the best. Leave me alone. You suck. You're small. Leave me alone. I'm the man, or I'm the lady. I just don't believe that's true, man. I don't put people on a pedestal. I don't want to keep ARCs, but they ran up. They did run up. That's fine. I'm into it for the strategic management, and I'm into it for the opportunity that if it does kind of roll down, I can strategically buy it. I'm not owning these for a trade. I'm owning these for an investment. Okay. So I'm looking to strategically buy these and accumulate a nice position. And my goal for this portfolio is not 14,000. My goal for this portfolio is to get to that 25,000 and reassess. And ARC, I think, can get me there. All right. We got less than a minute, guys. We will close it down. I do apologize. I couldn't get to all the comments tonight, but it was a hell of a live stream. Good on me for fighting through it. I'm at about 53% right now, so I'm about half power. But really appreciate you guys. Appreciate the private group for coming in, always supporting all the channel creators as well. There's one right there. He needs to get in here earlier to get a good seat and not a nosebleed seat. Ryan, great to see you, my friend. But I will sign off, guys. Be well, appreciate, and remember the theme from tonight's mission. Okay, and that mission isn't to always seek out your answers on social media and groups like Reddit or Wall Street Bets, things like that. The best place that you can find those answers that you're seeking are indeed internally. All right, guys, be well. We'll check you next Friday. All right.